The number of Chinese students going abroad to study in foreign universities is declining rapidly. And this is causing a serious problem for universities around the world, but especially universities in the United States. American universities are the most expensive in the world, and they have relied on hundreds of thousands of Chinese students going to the U.S. to study. Now the Chinese students are no longer coming, and neither is their money. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Kevin, and we are inside China Business. Over the past 25 years, the Chinese have sent over 3 million of their young people to study in American universities and colleges. And these students are highly prized by American schools because they spend top dollar. They pay full tuition, full room and board, and they dump hundreds of millions of dollars into local economies. But now these students have more and more options to stay home. China has been building dozens of high-quality universities that are attracting hundreds of thousands of China students. But it's also widely known now that Chinese businesses and employers do not give preferential treatment to Chinese who go abroad to study, then return to China to look for a job. Also, more and more Chinese students, particularly their parents, report that they are very concerned about crime and violence, especially in American schools and campuses that are located in major U.S. cities. But the biggest problem of all is the falling population here. There are simply fewer and fewer Chinese students every year to choose from. We estimate that U.S. colleges and universities are seeing a drop in revenues of at least $2 billion, and it's probably much higher compared to just 5 years ago. And it still might not be showing up yet at the top flight schools like Harvard, Stanford, and Michigan, but in hundreds of smaller schools across the country, they're already seeing a big difference, and it's causing big problems. Let's look at how this affects just one university. These two stories right here are from the University of Miami, which is a large private school in the state of Florida. The first piece is from the Miami Student, which is the school newspaper of the University of Miami. There's a shortfall there of $59 million, which are funds needed to maintain university buildings, pay school staff, administration, and cover student programs. The reason for this deficit is the decline in the Chinese student enrollment. There are 1,500 fewer students at University of Miami from China compared to just 3 years ago. Working out the math, 1,500 Chinese students paying $40,000 each in annual tuition, plus room and board, plus student fees, plus transportation. And that's the entirety of the $59 million deficit at the University of Miami. It's all China. If Chinese students continue to attend the University of Miami at the same rate they did before, the university would be in surplus. Instead, it's down, negative $59 million. So the university either needs to cut costs, fire staff, or increase tuition and fees on everybody else still going. The next piece is from the Asia News Network, and this is about University of Miami's business school. This is their graduate school where students go to get their MBAs, their Masters of Business Administration degrees. At their peak, the business school had over 300 students from China. Now it's approximately 140 students. So they have seen a decline of 160 students at their business school. The tuition alone, that is just the cost of going to class to University of Miami's business school, is $71,000. Now the MBA is a 2-year program, so that's over $140,000. This does not include room and board, transportation, other fees. So if the decline of students is 160, then that is over $22 million in lost revenues for the business school every year compared to before. And this is just the Miami Business School. The four-year school for undergraduates is down 59 million, as we saw before. And we also don't know the figures for the graduate schools of medicine and engineering, which are also seeing big declines in China student enrollment. American higher education is just one of the industries that's going to be really put under stress by Chinese competition and changing preferences over the next decade. American university administrators, staff, they're going to see significant cuts in coming years. There is another angle to this problem too, which is that these Chinese universities that are being built, they're not only bringing back hundreds of thousands of their own students, but they're attracting students from all over the world. They are offering free scholarships to international students from Asia and Europe, South America, to come here and attend for free. So if the strategy for these American universities is to reach out to other parts of the world to replace the shortfalls that they're seeing from China, that's probably not going to work either. Thanks for listening. Be good.